Baby, you know it. You're losing patience with me, but baby, don't show it. Ooh, isn't this what you wanted? But you're blowing up my phone.
Hello guys, I am back. I'm sorry it's been a while. I thought I would get a little bit less busy the past month or so, but it's just kind of ramped up and continued. Just a little bit of background, I work in the gaming industry, so I'm counting my blessings that work has increased in the past couple of years during COVID rather than decreased. So yes, I am very grateful, I'm very thankful, but it just means that I have not had a lot of personal time in the past few months. Busy setting up a company, but today I'm just digging out a couple of hours to quickly film this review application video for a new foundation because I was really excited, and that you might recognize. This is LANEIGE's Neo Foundation Matte. So if you have seen this one that kind of went viral last year, this is the Neo Matte Cushion. There's also a pink one, which is Neo Glow. And they have come out with the new liquid foundation version of this one because this was such a hit. Now I do have very brief comparison information in my press kit. So the Neo Cushion is meant to be weightless coverage, sweat resistance, there's a little bit of blue light protection in the skincare ingredients, and you're supposed to get minimal transfer with this formula. This liquid foundation version is also meant to be ultra light, but it's meant to take it one step further in terms of the long wear, because they promise up to 48 hours of long wear with this one. I don't recommend trying that out. Remove your makeup at the end of the day if you can. Now, one of the additional claims for the new liquid foundation is also that it is pollution proof. So it is charged to repel some of the pollutant particles that might land onto your skin. This is also 24 hours anti-oxidation. Now, I haven't had the chance to wear this out yet. I have applied it on the back of my hand the other day. It is that same beautiful suede-like velvety texture that the cushion is. But of course, just to be extra clear and give you a good comparison, I'm going to be wearing both of these on two sides of my face. So if there's any difference, you should be able to see it. Now, generally speaking, comparing matte cushion foundations and bottle foundations, I would say that the bottle foundations tend to be a little bit better at mattifying your skin, simply because a lot of those ingredients tend to work better in a bottle format where they're not exposed to air constantly. If you put a lot of the mattifying or quick drying ingredients in a cushion, it's just going to clog up and dry up on the surface. So that's why I say typically cushion foundations, even when they claim to be matte, will not tend to perform the same way that a matte liquid foundation will. To be fair as well, because this does not come with a cushion puff, I'm going to be using a foundation brush with both of these formulas. It works perfectly fine with a cushion, if you were wondering. Now, in terms of these shades, I am testing 25N today. It is slightly deeper than my natural skin tone. I'm not sure if it's visible on camera. This side is a little bit more tan than this side, and also more golden toned right now with the foundation on. I figured it would be easier to just go with a slightly more tan shade because my body is a little bit more tan and I just want to have, that color harmony. So just looking at the camera, it has done a very good job of mattifying and setting. One thing I want to say though is this texture does dry and set pretty quickly. So you want to work fast, section by section. I mean, don't pump it out all over your face because it will dry down before you get to it, unless you're really quick. Now, quickly on this side of my face, I am going to be using the same shade, 25N in the Neo Matte Cushion, just to let you guys see if there's any difference in the tone, how it dries down, and the finish. I find the cushion a little bit more noticeably scented. If you happen to be very sensitive to scents and you really dislike having fragrance in your foundation products, then go with this one.
So come on, ask me if it hurts just as much as it did before. And honestly, the third time, the fourth time, now baby, I'm getting bored. You're keeping me awake for the last time. I put my phone in airplane mode tonight. You can waste your breath, I won't waste mine, 'cause it's the last time. You're keeping me.
Now, straight up, the two main differences, the Neo Cushion Matte does have a little bit more glow as expected. The foundation itself is quite a bit more matte now that it's dried down, and you can see, I think, the difference in the level of luminosity or the bounce back. So if you have very oily or textured skin and you want to go with the cushion, then you definitely should powder down on the areas where you want to blur some texture. The matte side on me really requires no powdering at all. And I do have to say, in terms of the color tones as well, that's the second point. Both of these are 25N, but I think just looking at it on the preview screen now, this does look lighter. It's a little bit more neutral. The liquid foundation bottle version is a little bit more warm or golden yellow. Now, the next little thing that I like to test with high coverage or matte foundations sometimes is whether I can build up a little bit more coverage in certain areas and use this as a concealer at the same time. So I have a little bit of the Neo Foundation Matte, and I'm just gonna try and tap it on and build it up as an under eye concealer. I feel these days a lot of the foundations have such a lightweight texture that you should be able to build it up without things caking up or looking overly heavy. In fact, I tend to prefer doing this these days. So this seems to have worked pretty well. Applied as a concealer around the under eye area, around my nostrils where I'm a little bit more red. I would say to stop at the second layer unless you're extremely good at blending or you have a hydrating primer underneath, which gives you a little bit more play time, because otherwise this formula does seem to set pretty quickly, and I would hesitate to recommend that you keep building and building and building, because at some point you may start breaking down that very smooth base layer that's already set, and then you get really patchy, weird, cakey makeup. On the Neo Cushion side, strangely enough, I do find that this one single coat has managed to brighten and correct my under eye darkness. Somehow, this one is performing quite a bit better. So I'm just gonna try layering a little bit more anyway. Now, I usually expect a liquid foundation in a bottle to perform better than a cushion when it comes to spot coverage, spot concealing, but somehow or other, this formula just happens to be doing it really well. Now, first impressions before I head off and let this sit for a few more hours. It's been about 10 minutes. I've done some light makeup, not too much on my cheeks because I don't want to change the texture with a lot of blush today. Just have on mascara, lip gloss, and eyebrows. And I will say, this is nice, but I still love this one more at this point. I just think it has the same blurring effect. It looks beautiful around the pores, and it just manages to even and correct the skin tone a lot more than this side. I'm not sure if it's because the pigments that they use are a little bit different, or just the base that is different and it's causing this effect, but just for combination skin and normal skins that want a slightly more matte finish, this is my pick as of now. Of course, it wouldn't mean anything if this side is going to look crappy at the end of the day, so I'm just going to head off and let things bake. I will check in with you at the end of the day. Ciao!
You keep me up.
So guys, it's mid-afternoon. I've been wearing the foundation for about 5 hours at this point. I did go out in the heat. I was wearing a face mask. I was walking about quite a bit as well. So this is with the sweat that came out under the mask, and I'm probably going to lightly blot with a sheet of tissue, but I'm not going to use an oil blot. I'm not going to lift off any extra oil or hopefully pigments. At the end of the day, I'm going to just check in again and let you guys see how things are going, because I don't think I can sit with this much sweat on my face for the rest of the day. Hello, it is now almost 7 p.m. and I have been wearing this foundation and cushion for close to 8 hours at this point. I did mention that I was out in the afternoon. I was wearing a face mask, so I'm gonna let you guys see the level of transfer. So bear in mind that this side was the foundation side, because this was on my face, and this is where I wore the cushion. So there is a little bit of transfer of the nose that's expected, but generally speaking, there isn't actually much transfer on the foundation, liquid foundation side. A little bit more, I'm not sure how visible it is, but there's a teeny bit more around this area on the cushion side. So, as expected, the foundation has done a pretty good job of not transferring too noticeably. So in terms of the overall wear and finish after 7-8 hours, you can see shine on both sides of my face. Now, the liquid foundation started out a little bit more matte at the beginning of the day, but I think probably about the 3rd or 4th hour mark on both sides had the same level of shine. So it's not as if this controls shine or mattifies a lot more than the cushion itself. I can see in my monitor that this side of my face is still slightly brighter than this side, but that was how it was at the start of the day. The cushion foundation itself does come slightly lighter than the liquid, which is a little bit more golden, a little bit more tan. So you may want to consider, if you happen to be on a slightly lighter side of whichever shade of cushion you are using, you may want to go one shade lighter for the liquid foundation, or at least test it out in store before going home with the bottle. Otherwise, I would say both of these have stayed a very consistent color on my skin throughout the entire day. Now, as usual, I'm going to do a quick blot test, and we'll see if both of these are intact after I lift off the oil. Now, this is interesting because this half was used on the cushion side and this half was used on the foundation side, and I think it's pretty noticeable that the side of my face where I was wearing the foundation actually produced less oil throughout the day. I'm not entirely sure why or what it is in this formula that seems to be controlling oil, but I felt both sides looked equally shiny, and there was just less shine lifted off on this side of my face at the end of the day. Now, up close, after almost 8 hours of wear, sweat, and oil, and then lifting things off, neither of these has transferred onto my blotting sheet or my tissues that much, and it pretty much looks almost as good as new now that I'm looking at it up close in the mirror. I would say I still like this side in terms of the color tone is a little bit more neutral. It suits my skin tone a little bit better. It also seems to be able to even out the skin tone and neutralize discolorations a little bit better, on me anyway. However, I would say that this one is just a little bit better at crease resistance around the eye area. So on my drier spots where I make expressions, where I laugh, and there's a little bit of crinkling, this has resisted creasing. It's not settling into any lines, it's not gathering, and it's not looking cakey. So at this point, I cannot really say I like one over the other anymore, because this has done a fantastic job of holding up through a lot of heat and humidity. Now, if you have very, very dry skin, obviously you may want to check out the Glow formula instead of this one. This just hangs on. It really, really manages to hang on and look very fresh and very light. You just need to blot away the excess shine, excess oil and sweat, because while it does stay quite fresh on the skin, I wouldn't say that it completely blocks out shine. I think the oil still comes out onto the surface of your skin, and it's just up to you to lift it off. I think if you have oily skin, just straight up go for this one. It is designed to last longer than this, and it does a very good job of clinging on and not breaking down under oil, at least for me. Now, this one I would say is still fantastic. I would recommend this if you have combination to normal skin and you just want that velvety finish, but you want a little bit more moisture. This seems to do a pretty good job of controlling the oil, as evidenced by my blotting sheet, more so than the cushion. So that might be something to look out for. Now, the final thing left to check is whether this touches up nicely on top of the foundation, as LANEIGE suggests. I am going to be doing this on both sides of my face, so you have a fair comparison.
Be awake for the last time. I put my phone in airplane mode tonight. You can waste your breath, I won't waste mine, 'cause it's the last time. You're keeping me up. You're keeping me up. You're keeping my up. You're keeping me up. You're keeping my.
And the good news is this touches up flawlessly on top of the liquid foundation, even though this is a different formula. Nothing has caked up or shifted. It's all looking really, really seamless and very beautiful. It's just one tone all over. So if you happen to want the lasting power of the liquid foundation, you could just buy this, put it on at the start of the day, and then if you happen to be going out at the end of the night for drinks or dinner, you can always easily just touch up a little bit to get that beautiful flawless coverage again at the end of the day. And that's it. I hope this helped you guys out. Both the Neo Glow and Neo Matte liquid foundations in the bottle are out in Singapore now, so you should be able to find them online on all the official stores and also at the LANEIGE boutiques and counters. If you've tried either of these, let me know what you think. I'm kind of tempted to go pick up a bottle of the Neo Glow liquid foundation now, just to have a shot at it and let you guys know what I think. If I do, obviously I will film another video. Regardless, I hope you guys have a great week ahead, and I'll see you soon. Bye!
You're losing patience with me, but baby, don't show it.